we did what I didn't want to do. We traded back up into the first round to take a quarterback, specifically Shedeur Sanders. I didn't want that to happen. I was like, if Shedeur or Dart fall to us in round 2, okay, I'm cool with that. Instead, we trade up to select Jaxson Dart. Adam Schefter on the broadcast reported that the Giants offered Tennessee the number 3 pick, the first rounder in 2026, and other picks, quote unquote, to move up for Ward, but Tennessee turned them down. Tennessee really believes in their guy. I've had a lot of to say about Schoen and Daboll, but you can't fault Schoen for not trying. You can't say he didn't try. I mean, he tried to trade up last year to get Daniels in May, and he was shot down. Like, obviously the Commanders are not going to, unless they rob us blind, which maybe we should have been robbed. maybe we should have just let them snatch our chain if it meant getting Jaden Daniels and going to the friggin' NFC Championship. It was leaked on Instagram from Shane's son, Joe Schoen's son, who wanted Jaden Daniels and thought it was worth trading up for. It was leaked that the Giants were going to take Jaxson Dart. I was not, like, crazy about Jaxson Dart. I did prefer him over Shedeur Sanders, for sure. It was, like, between Milroe and Dart. So I was like, man, I cannot get over Jalen Milroe's athleticism. And it's like, if you can just tighten it up, like, let's just fix some of the little stuff, then he could be like a crazy awesome quarterback, you know. And once I saw the comparison to Cordell Stewart, I was like, whoa, my eyes lit up. I was like, oh my god, yes. Was a bit weary about trading up, but I did watch John Gruden's QB camp. It used to be a segment for ESPN. Now it's a series for Barstool Sports. But I watched that. I was really impressed with Jaxson Dart during that whole process. His ability to adjust on the fly. Believe me, my heart skipped a beat when Gruden was like, okay, give me your cadence. Give me your count. He's like, and Dart's like, oh, we don't have one. And Gruden's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, I come up, I'm in shotgun, and I clap. I was like, well, what if you have to go on 2? And he's like 2 claps. Like, what? I was like, oh my god, this is the guy we're going to draft, and like, he doesn't know how to do cadence. He doesn't know how to do a count. But no, Gruden put him through the ringer. The fact that Gruden is tossing out and throwing out rapid fire, pass pro, formation, motion, multiple plays at once. Like, I'm going to give you 5 plays. Like, I'm talking to you as if, you know, we're in the game, I'm over the headset, and I'm feeding you 5 plays, and you have to choose from the one of the 5 plays once you get to the line, and you can read the defense and see what they're set up in. And Dart just was like, no questions asked, yes, sir, no hesitation, no stuttering, decisive. And that's what I ultimately, after getting to know him better through film breakdowns and through the highlights and just from hearing from a lot of experts, quote unquote, the guy has no fear. And that goes not just for running the ball, because I know that's a huge concern. I mean, Gruden was very adamant about it. He's like, you're way too aggressive in the run game. You need to learn how to frickin' slide, dude. You're not going to have a long career if you're trying to bowl everyone over in the NFL. And you can even see that kind of happened with Daniel Jones, where it's like Daniel didn't know how to slide, and he took some hits, and ultimately it cost him a lot of games. And maybe his career, you know, because it's like if he didn't take those hits, didn't get those injuries when it was unwarranted or unnecessary, like maybe he'd be a different kind of player. But his aggressiveness in the passing game, something that we did not see from Daniel later on in his career with the Giants. You know, it's the ability, like, there's no separation on that route. There have been plenty of times where it's like I watched him throw the ball and you see the defender is all over the receiver, but he places the ball in a spot where only the receiver can catch it. And 9 times out of 10, it's mostly because it's in man and the defender's back is to Dart to the quarterback. Once you identify it's man and you can see the back of the jersey of the defender that's on the receiver, throw it. I like the aggressiveness and I like the assertiveness in terms of throwing passes that there's no way Daniel Jones would throw a lot of those passes. Phil Steele, who's like a well-respected prognosticator for college football, he awarded Dart All-America Honorable Mention and All-SEC First Team. USA Today named him to their All-SEC team. He was a Manning Award finalist, a Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award finalist, a College Football News SEC Quarterback of the Year, Maxwell Award semifinalist, Walter Camp Award semifinalist, Davey O'Brien Award semifinalist, and he made the honor roll. Passing efficiency of 162.8. He set Ole Miss career marks in total offense, passing yards, passing efficiency, 300-yard passing games, rushing yards by quarterback, total offense per play, and tied for records in yards per pass attempted 400-yard passing games. He ranks 4th in SEC history in total offense, one of 4 quarterbacks in conference history to break 12,000 yards alongside Georgia's Aaron Murray, Missouri's Drew Lock, and Florida's Tim Tebow, which... what to take from those names? Goo. Aaron Murray, is he like on the Rams maybe? I think he was in the NFL. I don't know if he's in the NFL anymore. Drew Lock, we all know how that went. And then Tim Tebow, who did get a playoff win. So, read into that how you will. He also ranked 4th in SEC history in total offense per play, 5th in total offense per game, 9th in passing yards, and is one of 11 in SEC history to break the 10,000-yard mark. So, great accomplishment, great achievement. Can it translate to the NFL? You would think it would. The SEC, if you were an SEC fan or a fan of an SEC school, you believe that the SEC is the most powerful, best, strongest conference in college football. So, and very well known for its defenses. So the defenses are essentially NFL caliber defenses. That should mean it should translate to the NFL, but it's like, I'm looking at the names. Got arm talent, athleticism, and deep ball accuracy, which is great. Can't wait to get some deep balls going. I got a jonesing for deep balls. Give me them deep balls. He's slow to process post snap, which is unfortunate, and he has inconsistent mechanics. There's no question about effort. It's good to see enthusiasm, some fire. I was listening to Charlie Weiss talk about him on the Manja podcast with Bob Papa, where he's like eating pasta and drinking red wine. And Charlie Weiss had, great things to say about him. Obviously, might be a bit biased because his son was coaching him. But you hear the stories about how Jaxson Dart was instrumental in recruiting, like, not just offensive players to Ole Miss, but defensive players. So the fact that he's kind of like, he can bring the clubhouse and the locker room together is good to see. Weiss used the example of Tom Brady, as everyone does, in that Weiss was like, yeah, when Brady first got the Patriots, he was talking to everyone, not just receivers and running backs, but linebackers, D-backs. He was talking to everyone to get their perspective and to get intel and really to try and forge relationships and to establish bonds, which is something that I envy and wish I had that in me. Something that it goes a long way. A little bit goes a long way. I hope he gets to wear number 2. That would be sick. In my head, I don't know why I've convinced myself of this. I'm like, at worst, he's going to be a really good backup. At worst, he's a really good backup. At worst, he's going to be great competition for the starting job eventually. There's a lot of talk about, do you want to see him play this year, and what happens when Russell struggles? Like, what if we see Jaxson Dart this year? The wheels have come off. Seems to be the consensus. But at the same time, it's like, whoa, what if Jaxson Dart just comes in and blows away Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston? And it's like a no-doubt thing where it's like, wow, in training camp, he is outperforming. In preseason, he's outperforming. It seems like the approach is going to be, let's redshirt him, quote-unquote, right? Like, let's just let him sit and watch 2 veterans do their thing, 2 veterans who have, for the most part, proven themselves. I mean, well, Russell at least. Jameis, and the fact that Jaxson Dart said, who's your dream teammate, or who's your ideal teammate? And it's like, is it Montana? Is it da-da-da? Is it Brady? And it's like, Jameis Winston is like, that's kind of cool. This is before he was drafted by the Giants. So I think that's going to be a really great quarterback room. The Giants have really set up Dart for success. What I don't like about the pick is you basically have guaranteed Daboll, at least Daboll, 2 more years, but basically 2 years. You've guaranteed him 2 years. Because, like, you're not, so you're going to draft Dart. We go 7-10. You fire Daboll. Dart doesn't see any playing time. But that's his guy. It's like, I feel like it does kind of feel like we're kicking the can down the road and we're delaying the inevitable. It's weird though. It's like you basically, with that selection, he's got his guy, and now you have to see it out. You have to see it play out, and it's like, well, he didn't play his rookie year in 2025, and like he's competing for the job in 2026. So here's the scenario. In 2026, if Dart is not the starter, right? Say Jameis beats him out, and you go 7-10, and Dart doesn't see any playing time, does that mean Daboll's gone? Like, what needs to happen for the Giants, John Mara and the Giants, to move on? Not just from Daboll, but also Schoen. Like, you gotta start winning. Also, flip side of it, if we make the playoffs this year with freaking Russell Wilson, and it's not just because of the defense, he actually is a top 15 quarterback, do you move on from him after making the playoffs? You say, thanks for helping us make the playoffs, but adios, muchacho, because it's all lined up to be Russell's a one and done. We're not expecting them to make the playoffs. Because, like, what's the plan if we make the playoffs and he plays well? You re-sign him? For how long? It's tricky, dude. It's tricky. Essentially, if Dart's the starter in, like, week 9, week 10, it's like, all right, the shit has hit the fan. But if Dart comes out and he's the starter week 1, first of all, Russell Wilson will throw a damn conniption fit and might burn down MetLife Stadium, which I wouldn't be opposed to. The only way I can see Daboll getting canned after this season is if it would have to be just a calamity of errors. Like, everything goes wrong. Russell gets hurt, Jameis smells, and they are forced, due to like fans chanting his name, they forced to play Jaxson Dart, and he doesn't do well. And like really doesn't do well. Like really struggles, doesn't have anything to show for it. We're talking like Drew Lock level of performance. And then it's like, well, but it just feels like he just gets a pass for this year. Like, based on last season's draft, based on this season's draft, with everyone saying it's an A minus, A plus grades and rankings in the top 5, top 2, it just feels like Daboll's getting a pass, and I guess even Shane's getting a pass. So that's Dart.